Hello, my name is Maria Pena. I'm a visual artist. We are here in Brunswick West workshop. We are going to do a video to demonstrate the use of color, tones, intensity, and value for you to create a simple still life composition. First, we are going to do some work on tones. I'm going to organize the colors in the palette. I have two different brands, Winsor and Newton and Pebeo, which are a student series you can start with. We have turpentine and linseed oil. For the palette, I really like and I recommend a glass, a clean glass, because it's straight, it doesn't have much texture, and it doesn't absorb the color. So I recommend you that, or you could go to an art shop and they have specific palettes made out of wood, but with some layer that is special for oil painting or acrylics. We have the brushes here you can find in the art shops. I recommend to use flat. I like for still life, I like more the flat brushes than the round ones. And then you can get different sizes from size 0 up to size 10. This one is, for example, 6. I use it a lot. And this one is 1. This one is size 10. And these ones are size 2 for details. And then we need a spatula, metallic spatula, flat one as well, not so big. I recommend this one for mixing the colors. Oil painting is all about preparing the colors, mixing the colors and getting a time to prepare them on the palette before adding it on the surface. So you only need 5 colors to do endless tones. The 3 primary colors, yellow, blue and red, white and black. The tones are cadmium, yellow cadmium, blue cobalt, red cobalt, white titanium, and then the ivory black. When we talk about tone, that means the different intensity that the color has, meaning the darkness, more intense the color is, and then the brightness, the value, more light the color can be. So this illusion of different tones gives volume when you apply it into, for example, a shape. That's how we create the volume. So I'm going to start with the red color, and I'm going to do different tones from the same color. What am I gonna do? What I recommend is to just have 5 or maybe 6 different pieces of red. This is the primary red as it comes from the tube. I forgot to say before, never apply a color straight away from the tube to the canvas because it's a flat color. So I'm going to prepare to cook the color, and that's to give tone. This is a system that has worked for me as a painter. I prepare the colors first. If I'm going to, for example, paint a red apple, then I organize the red in 5 different pieces, and I start gradually adding white to make it lighter. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to this one. Then I clean the spatula and I add more to the next one. And the same, you always clean the spatula and you add more to the following one, making it lighter. So you check that is actually the right amount of white to making it lighter than the previous one. And then more to the last one. Yeah. And so on, you can have endless tones of the same color. Now I'm going to give intensity to the red color. I'm going to add a little bit of black to each one of those pieces of red color. So I need more to the other side to give the intensity. I put more red, and I'm going to add to this one in the middle. It should be like almost only red, so I put a little bit of black, a little, and then I add more to the following one. Remember that the black is very intense, so be careful with the amount you put. Then a little bit more to the next one. So here you have 3 red color that are very bright, and the rest ones are more intense. A better way of getting an intense color it's to add gradually to that color, that primary color, you add gradually its complementary. In the case of red, its complementary color is green, because green doesn't have red in the mixture. So I'm going to do that, and you will see the difference between doing an intensity of the color with black and with the complementary one. Let's do 3. And then you need green. How do we prepare green color? You have to mix 2 primary colors. So you get a little bit of the more intense one, which is blue, and yellow, more yellow than blue. Then the next one, more green, to make it more darker. Now more green to the last red, and then you will get a really, really dark, intense red color. When you want to create a volume then, and the form is red, for example, you are going to use red color, then if you, in the intense dark areas, you use these ones, shades, for example, into the form, and then for the light ones, you use these ones. The main thing in oil painting is to get the time and the patience to prepare the colors first in the palette. They don't worry, because they won't dry. Now let's do an exercise on tones in the canvas, and we are going to use the red tones we just mixed. We clean, after every application of a tone, we clean it up with the turpentine. Again, the same, cleaning the brush before going to the following one. And from here, we are going to get more intensity. And I'm completed with the last intense color that I did with the complementary green. So I'm just trying to fade everything. You could use your hand just to blend. Always changing tones, you need to wash the brush in turps. Yeah, and then you clean it up with your cloth, clean it up well. And after that, you get a medium, which fixes better the painting into the canvases. In this case, I'm using turps with lens oil. Now, we are going to do the tones with green color. The green color is a secondary color. Yellow, blue, and red are primary colors. So because it's a secondary color, you don't find the, well, you can find the tubes already prepared, but if you don't have, you can just use blue and yellow. Remember always to use less quantity of the more intense color, and then you add the yellow one. Again, I will divide this green in 8 different pieces, so that I make 4 intense colors and other brighter ones, or more value of the color. These 4 tones will be lighter. I will give value to those colors, and the ones in the bottom will be intense. I'm going to start gradually adding white to the green, just a little to this one, more to the following one. And I'm going to add the complementary of the green color, which is red, gradually to make it more intense. So I get a little bit for the first one, then more. You could do the intense colors with black as well, or with the complementary color, which is red. I recommend more the second one with the complementary color, because it's more chromatic, and it's easier to get the volume when you work with less black color. Just only when you need it, you mix it a little bit, but it's better to do the tones with the complementary colors always. Now let's put it on. Let's start with the intense ones. This time, remember, you use a medium first. I'm going to get the more intense one and apply it here. Now that we have learned how to prepare colors, how to use 3 primary colors, black and white, to create tones, intensity and value, darkness and brightness, we are going to apply these skills into a still life composition. Now I have here a piece of canvas primed already that you can find in the art shops as well. I'm going to do a quick demonstration of how to apply the tones into a form, a round form, with the theme of still life. So I will imaginarily draw an apple, and I'm going to use green tones to give the idea of a green apple. So I have the tones here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tones, intense and more bright. And I'm going to start applying the tones. So I imagine that the light is coming from this side. I will have more value tones here, more light, and then more intensity towards that side. Remember always to use a medium. In the first layers, you use terps, more terps than linseed oil. So I just recommend that in the first one, I don't blend too much. I just put the tones. So now I'm going to work on the steam, and we need sienna colors, we need brown colors, and those are the tertiary colors, where we need to mix a primary color and a secondary color. And we always get sienna color. So let's get the red color here, and let's remember the complementary of that red. It is a green color. Okay, so we prepare the green as well. Yes, this is a primary color, red, and green is a secondary color. So if we mix them in the same amounts, before the exercise was to get intensity of the red by adding gradually little of green. This one is adding the same amount of green, and it's complementary to get a sienna color. And then we get around the same amounts. You mix very well, and then what you get is this dark sienna. It's a kind of brown, yeah, it's the professional name for brown color, sienna. From this one as well, we can do intense sienna and lighter or brighter one. Okay, so how do we do that? We can do it also dividing these in different pieces. So let's add a little bit of white to the two first ones. So just a little. And with this one, what we can do is that we add a little bit of the black to make it more intense. As we have the steam, you know how the steams have really, really dark color? So in this case, it's good to use the black color to give more intensity to the sienna color. Now I'm going to apply the sienna tones that I just prepared in the steam. For this, we need to use a thinner brush. So this is size 1. The other one was size 6. Now for the table, I'm going to prepare another tone of sienna, tertiary color, but this time using yellow, which is a primary color, and its complementary one, that is purple. How do we prepare purple? We add red color, the primary red and the primary blue. But with the purple, because the blue is very intense, you need a little bit of white to get that purple feeling. So I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, and I calculate more or less the same amount of purple, and I mix. Yes, and we get this sienna, which is different from this one. Also, I'm going to do 4 sienna color, tones of sienna color with this, adding white in 1 or 2, and the others a little bit of black. If you want to make it less gray, then what we can do is to add a little bit of red to each one. You are blending, you are like cooking. When you cook as well, you add spices, and then the flavor is much more delicious than just not putting any ingredients on it. Okay, and maybe this one more dark. These ones are the new ones I'm going to use for the table, and these were the other sienna. These ones were prepared with yellow and its complementary purple, and this one with red and its complementary green color. Same, the light is going to be here, and then it's going to get darker as it goes to that side. So I will start adding these new tones. Now we are going to prepare a sienna color, but with the other primary color, which is blue. And its complementary is orange. I'm going to show you how we can get orange. We add yellow and a little of red. Okay. So we have here orange and we have blue. In this case, for this sienna, we add more orange than blue because the blue is very intense. It's another sienna, very similar to the other one, but different. So here I have different tones of sienna mixing blue and its complementary orange. I have divided in different parts, and I have given more light by adding orange, and then more darkness or intensity by adding blue. Usually we want to like light color in the background because the form is more important, okay? And then slowly you can see that you brought another reality into just a surface. For when you want to create the idea of weight of the form on the surface, then you use the sienna colors as well, the complementary of the green. Those tones that you mixed between green and red to get sienna, then you use them. We have them here in the palette already. Maybe you make it more intense with black and you add the darker tone right after the shape, and then as it goes to the table, you just make it lighter. So you add the lighter tones of that mixture. Okay. All these skills can be learned in an oil painting workshop, Still Life, that I'm running. And this is a result of after the 4 classes of a student who started painting from a beginning. If you are interested in learning these skills in more detail, you can take one of my workshops and go to my website, www.maria-pena.com, to get more information and updates on my workshops.